I'm Shane.
And I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode.
Up to 16 now?
Dude, we were just rolling right along.
Well, 16 means 4 months.
4 months?
Yeah. 4 times 4. 4 weeks at 4 months.
Nice. We're almost to a half a year. We gonna do anything special on our 6-month anniversary?
I have no idea.
It should be in like January, right? January, February?
February. We're in December.
Yeah, that's right.
We got there.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Should probably buy a calendar or something. Keep track of shit. Make the job easier, right?
All right. But before we get rolling into our Christmas marathon and what we watched this week, we'll go ahead. We'll hit you with our socials. You know that's my job.
Yep.
I got you here. So Facebook is going to be facebook.com/Kentucky Fried Critics.
Yep.
Nothing special, plain, easy, nice.
Boring.
Then we'll go to Instagram. Like I said, I don't know how the URL there works, but again, our handle is definitely at Kentucky Fried Critics.
I think you have to be under 25 before you're allowed to understand it.
I don't know.
We're too old.
Then we go to YouTube. YouTube's the one. It's a little bit different. Again, you've heard us say this many times. You'll hear us say it at least probably 3 more because we're going to go to the end of the month to see if anything happens to the other account.
Yeah, and then we get our
decision.
Our decision on what's happening.
At that point, we will either, again, right now on YouTube, we are KF Critics. Let's go ahead and make sure we get that out there.
Yeah. So people understand what we're talking about.
So that's the website, the URL for that would be youtube.com/@KF Critics.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get it to where that would be at Kentucky Fried Critics, no hyphens, no spaces.
Like everything else.
If we can't get that way, we will certainly be changing it to hyphens, Kentucky Fried Critics. Because that's got to be available.
Oh, it's got to be the way.
So
who else loves hyphens but me?
So we'll know for sure what we're doing there soon.
Very
but we're
soon.
definitely not going to keep it at KF Critics.
No.
Because that's a little bit much.
Pisses us off every time we see it.
Now, that being said, I've done this test myself. If you literally just go to YouTube and search Kentucky Fried Critics in any fashion, capital letters, lowercase letters, spaced, non-spaced, you will find us first.
Nice.
Over the other one.
So we are the only active Kentucky Fried Critics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, they've not used their account.
Shut it down. Give it back to me.
That's what I'm saying. The last one then is going to be our website. That's the one that's Bo's favorite.
Yay.
That's going to be shows.acast.com/Kentucky-Fried-Critics.
Hyphen Mania.
So that's the one that Bo loves. Again, it's full of hyphens. Episode titles, depending on how long they get,
Yep.
Those are all hyphens.
Just tickles me. I am Captain Hyphen.
We have plenty of hyphens to share, to go around. After that, we'll go ahead and the last social we'll talk about is the email, the actual email. So you can send quality ideas to us if you just want to.
Movies and pop culture and things.
If you just want to personally share with us how much you enjoy, go ahead and do that. You know, if you just have a problem with putting it out in public, yeah. I can relate to that.
Yeah,
if you want to share it to us,
one of those people.
You can send us an email. That's what it's for. And so
Tell us we're great.
That one's going to be KentuckyFriedCritics@gmail.com. Again, nice, simple, no hyphens, no spaces, nothing, all lowercase.
Send us stuff. We need the ego boost.
Then other than that, we'll go ahead and let everybody know. Again, you can find us on most major podcast platforms at this point. Again, I don't know all of them. I just don't like to use the word all because, again, what happens.
There's like, you're not on so-and-so pod.
It's my favorite. I can't find you on that one. I have to go over here. So, again, I like to say most major podcast platforms. You're going to find us on, obviously, the big ones, big 3. So, it's Spotify, Amazon, and Apple. Yeah. We're definitely on those. That's most people's go-to.
Yeah, those ones most people use.
I'm pretty sure we're supposed to be on maybe Pandora. I think they have a podcast.
I didn't know they were still a thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, dude. But they just had to branch out in the things they offer.
Yeah.
And then iHeartRadio. I know we're on iHeartRadio because I get the emails from iHeartRadio. Again, not ones where they talk to me, not real people.
Anything about my shirt?
Well, it's like I said, not real people, Bo. This is a blanketed you are a podcaster, here's an email to you.
How impersonal.
Yeah. If I was talking to a real person, obviously I would already have information for you about this shirt.
I'm still waiting, iHeartRadio. I want my shirt.
Or any fans, if you're willing to make them
me
one.
a shirt. That'd be cool.
Again, reach out to us by email.
Yeah.
We'll let you know how you can get it to us.
I'll take it. I'm a large. I have a long torso.
That definitely wraps up all the socials and where you can find us. Don't forget, everybody, like, share, subscribe, comment, do
Hit
the
the bell.
things. We don't need to keep reminding you what the things are. You know.
You've had people yell at you for like the past 15 years, right?
Every video
everything.
you've ever watched. So you know, we don't want to be the ones that hammer it in, but we do have to just say it.
Apparently the algorithm doesn't listen if you don't say it.
So we have to say it.
And
That's just what it is.
It's like having the script at the drive-through menu. You have to say the certain stuff, even though you're just wanting to be like, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly. It makes a difference.
Right.
You don't think it does, but it does. It is one of those things. No one understands.
Protocols must be followed.
That's right. So what are we drinking this week, Bo?
This week, keeping the Christmas marathon rolling, we're doing Great Lakes Christmas Ale.
That's right. We've done Great Lakes before.
Yeah, they did
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. It was
we
pretty
liked
good.
Them. Pretty good.
Yeah.
We're not going to say much else about this until we're finished.
Yeah, I'll wait till the end.
Again, there's no hidden clues, so there's no reason to try to beat around the bush about this. So it's just, what movie were we watching? Because this was your pick.
This was my pick. I love this movie. This is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The Rankin and Bass stop motion one. Yeah, love that movie.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and let people know. So we did, we had 5 weekends. So we did an even split. We both picked 2 and 2. And then Jingle All the Way was the one that we both agreed on as a mutual. So like we told you guys, these are our favorites. So we'll make sure everybody knows which ones we each picked.
Yep.
I think we just went ahead and did it to where it's Bo at the beginning of the month and me at the end of the month.
Yeah,
I think is
so.
how it ends up working out. Again, I don't really remember when we get to the end and we tell you next week's beer. It'll help refresh my memory on if that's true or not.
I'm pretty sure.
So Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Rankin Bass.
Yeah, everybody's seen this movie. This is one of those movies where I won't even judge you. I won't believe you that you haven't seen this. Well, unless you're an 11-month-old that hasn't had their first Christmas yet.
No. I would say under the age of 20, dude. There's definitely a good chance. Now, that being said, I definitely don't interact with a whole lot of people under the age of 20. Well, think about it. We don't exist in a world where it comes on TV all the time anymore.
That's true.
It's the same thing with like the Charlie Brown Christmases. When we were kids, they were always on TV. Then it started being like gas stations had the rights to sell the DVDs, right? Which was so
$5
weird.
DVD.
And then once that happened, they weren't on TV anymore. They expected that you just bought that DVD from whatever place had it. And so now at this point, you can't find either the DVD and it's no longer on rotation on TV.
Yeah, I couldn't find the DVD.
So you get what I'm saying? Like
I looked.
So we don't live in a world where I would say everybody, but I would definitely say probably most people we interact with on a daily basis should have seen this movie at some point in their lives.
The rest of you need to see it too. If you're under the age of 25, the grouchy old man says go watch this movie. Go on.
Before we get started, obviously these are short movies.
It's super short.
The Rankin Bass Christmas movies are not long, so before we really get into it, we're just gonna talk a little bit about Rankin and Bass themselves.
Yeah.
Or the movies that they've done, not themselves.
Yeah, I don't have like a
biography. We don't do that kind of research. That's not who we are.
Different channel.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody has.
And then Bo can share a little bit about why he enjoys this, the connection to other stop motion, because he's a big stop motion fan.
I love stop motion. It should make a comeback.
But before we let Bo take over with his love of stop motion, I'll go ahead and point out, because he's been dying to know, because he had asked me what movies they had done outside of their Christmas movies. Because again, their Christmas movies are massive. If you can think of a stop motion Christmas movie, they did it. And I mean everything. Like, we're talking both religious and non-religious. Like, they did, they did all of them. Any like nativity type of old school stop motion you think of, that was
the little drummer boy.
They did the little drummer boy. They did, they did all of them. They did the Rudolphs. They did they did all of them.
The Year Without a Santa, all that stuff.
So if you can think of it, and it was stop motion, Christmas, it was definitely them. On top of that, their Christmas includes the animated Frosty the Snowmans. Mm-hmm. That's them.
Yeah. I can see that. The similarity in animation from one of the scenes in this movie.
Yeah. So those are all the same. They also did the Easter animated movies. Like, the And they also did Peter Cottontail.
Oh,
stop motion movie, right? Okay,
I didn't know that.
Now I'm hitting hard. I'm going further though, because again, you wanted to know. So far, we're still in holiday world for the most part.
Over here, I'm like, I don't remember the Easter one.
It literally is just an Easter bunny that looks fat and jolly like Frosty the Snowman. Your head might be
just blending them together like I do all the Christmas ones.
So, exactly. So don't worry about it too much. But it definitely looks just exactly like Frosty the Snowman.
Nice.
But we're going to move past the holiday world. They are also the people that were responsible for the 1977/1980 Lord of the Rings movies. You know, the Hobbit cartoon and the Lord of the...
Yes.
That's them.
I love those.
That's Rankin and Bass.
The animation got better.
The Last Unicorn. Now, one thing that they've done that I've not seen that I want to see is they did a cartoon of The Return to Oz.
Ooh, cool.
Right? In the 60s.
They did... What, 70% of my freaking childhood?
They did a lot of stuff. That's what I'm saying.
I need to go back and watch more Rankin and Bass, just besides the Christmas stuff.
Yeah, they definitely did a whole lot of movies. It's crazy the stuff that they did because, again, when I hear the word Rankin and Bass, the only thing
is Christmas movies.
I don't think anything else.
Right?
I don't think...
I immediately think Burgermeister Burger.
Yeah, well, and, you know, and Baby New Year.
Yeah.
Rudolph.
What's the gold miner's fucking name? Fuck.
You do this to me every time. You did this to me the other day, and I told you, because you were like, isn't he in this movie? And he wasn't.
No, he's not, but I can't think of his damn name.
I know. Again, I'm just saying, don't do it to me again.
Yukon Cornelius. There it is.
Now, that being said, I did find out, I pieced together myself. They are not a connected universe. This is not the Rankin Bass cinematic universe. You know, this is not the MCU.
They don't flow into each other.
Yeah, because that's why we have, like in this movie, our elves are clearly miniature Santas.
Yeah, with the red suit.
In appearance and in clothing. Yeah. Later we see that there are definitely children-aged ones and this and that, and most of them look younger, and there's no Santa-looking ones. Yeah, and they definitely wear green.
Beard. Yeah, they have green, pointy hats, floppy hats.
My clue to this, though, is all in Rudolph. Because in this movie... They have a split second.
Yeah, a split second of him.
Where they talk about all the reindeer, and they're like, oh, and this one, you know which one. And they like, oh, we can't talk about it
narrator's
right now.
Like, that's a different story.
But the Rudolph they show, doesn't look like Rudolph in the other movie.
He's like fully grown, has the antlers and shit.
Yeah. And secondly, again, he's fully grown, and they're saying that this was the first time he flew with all of the reindeer. If you've seen the other one, you know that's not how this works.
No.
They were already going out. They needed to recruit poor Rudolph.
Or Rudolph to help.
Because it was too foggy.
Yeah, that's the whole reason.
It's in the song,
Won't you guide my
guys.
sleigh tonight?
It's in the song.
With your nose oh so bright.
And Rankin Bass is all about that.
Oh, songs.
Not even songs, dude. The fact that they're all about setting up scenes for you to explain to you why the songs have the lyrics they have, right? Like, so again... They the Rudolph movie definitely showed you fog in the way.
Yep.
Much like in this movie when they do Santa Claus is Coming to Town, or any of the other things.
The
making
toy
a list,
maker.
even just the phrasing, making a list and checking it twice. Yeah. They literally. There are these scenes where they're not singing those songs. Sometimes they're just telling you that's what they're doing, so that way you know, and you're like, oh, those clever
there
guys.
It is.
So Rankin and Bass, very on top of that. And so, but again, that Rudolph is a kid.
Yeah. Has nothing to do with this Rudolph that we saw in this movie.
That we saw was definitely fully grown already, first time that he flew.
They're not connected.
The elves are different.
Not connected at all.
So again, it just so happens that they like to tell these stories about Christmas, and they have overlapping themes, and they look the same. I think we've thoroughly covered, though, Rankin and Bass and their repertoire of movies, and proven that they were that big.
Yep.
They did a lot.
All their lovely stop motion movies that we don't do anymore.
And regular animation. But again, the Hobbit and the Lord of the... Those ones are great because they are the animated... mesh with like
stop action. Like
because they do the weird
and live action.
Yeah, because
they got weird with the orcs and stuff.
Well, and
with the
ring wraiths.
Yeah,
they all come in with the weird shadowy like presence and stuff,
like some kind of smoke puppet.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah, there's all kinds of cool animation in that movie.
So yeah, they are groundbreaking with their movie stuff. We'll throw it to you now because again, you are just a huge stop motion fan.
Yes, it's a shame we don't do anything like this anymore. Right? Imagine how good we could do this with, like, if we just did it with the dolls and you did all the stuff and then went back over it with the computer and cleaned all the lines.
Oh, dude, you can find people that do stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen videos online. They do really good work, but I want to see it in like a big movie.
Oh, man. My son absolutely loves Lego stuff, and you can find tons of people we watched full-on
cool shit.
We watched Legos. A Lego Doctor Who thing today, and there's a guy who literally like this was like a behind the scenes thing for him, and like making one of his. He's made like 3 or 4 seasons. Of his own
Doctor Who?
His own.
Oh, his own Lego show?
No, his own Lego Doctor Who. Like, I'm not saying it's a reproduction of Doctor Who. Like, he's made his own stories with it. What is his own Doctor regeneration? It is not David Tennant. It is not made. You get what I'm saying?
He
like, that's what I mean.
As a Lego man.
He is. That's what I'm saying. Like, it is his own story.
That's awesome. See, like, it's still alive since Ray Harryhausen died, and then, like, what? 70s, dude, 80s, something like that. Like ago. It's been just a downward since that, and everybody just does it with computers now. No. But I'm glad there's still people out there. If you look,
man, you can find it.
I saw a guy on YouTube. He did a full World War I battle with the Legos. Full stop motion. It was awesome.
I think I'd also point out that you were overlooking Robot Chicken.
Yeah, Robot Chicken was great. Definitely. That's like the whole reason I watched it. I was like, yo, they're just using dolls and stuff like you did when you were a kid. You sit there and... Or maybe I just did. You sit there and you'd play with your camera. You'd take a picture, get them developed, and then you could do the flip book. Yeah.
Yep.
Mom got mad at me wasting film.
Yeah, so you can still find people. We can start doing it. And again, now that we live in a world of digital pictures, like you can think of like what you used to do wasting film. We don't have to waste film.
Yeah, that's true. I can just do it with like my phone now, couldn't I?
And then save it to the cloud afterwards. And you can create a slideshow so that way you can make your own animation sounds in between page flips and stuff.
Make an animated intro for the podcast with action figures and shit.
Flip book style.
Yeah,
we could do it, dude. You mentioned Harryhausen.
Yeah, Ray Harryhausen. He did all. He did King Kong.
This is what we need.
If you've seen a monster movie from like the 40s or 80s that had stop motion in it, I bet you Harryhausen had something to do with it, or his team had something to do with it. All the way up to Clash of the Titans, which is my favorite one, and not a fan of the remake. No, it's not as good. Everybody can shut up. The one with the Harryhausen stop motion of the Kraken and Pegasus and stuff.
And the little robot owl.
Yes. Dude, no. They shit on Bubo in that remake. I know they pull him out of the box and they're like, oh, no, we don't want to take this annoying ass bird. I'm like, man, shut your fucking mouth. I love Bubo.
And he looks cool as shit because, again, Harryhausen knew what he was doing.
He's a master of stop motion. He can make things that are small look like they're actually interacting with the actors. And we need to relearn to do this because it looked really cool back then. Imagine how cool we can make it look now.
Yeah, well, especially think with like 3D printing, we can make stuff that looks better.
We can make
that's fully
articulated
without having to worry about clay or puppetry.
You could do giant stop motion. Like the hero could literally fight an actual monster on set instead of just running around in a giant green room.
Yeah. Again, people just don't even...
They don't try hard enough. They took the easy way, and then they started crowing about how hard it was to do. And I'm over here. I'm like, no, I don't buy it. You just want more money to justify what you're doing.
That's right. I mean,
that's all it is.
100%. We've definitely covered plenty of Rankin and Bass and stop motion and our love for this stuff and the nostalgia it brings and why, obviously, we just feel such a connection to it since so much more of our childhood was this than we even realized. And we had it coming from so many places. As we mentioned, stop motion was big. It was not just Rankin and Bass. It was Harryhausen. We had different people. It was involved in real movies, not just stop motion only movies. It was real effect. It was practical effect. That's how you got things done.
Yeah, it would look so much better. And you got better performances out of people because they had stuff to interact with.
That's right. They knew what they were looking at.
Yeah, instead of having to imagine what the guy in the green suit
holding a tennis ball
on a stick is supposed to be.
Yeah. But so, yeah, I think we can go ahead and get started, though. Like I said, after all that, we've definitely covered plenty of it.
Get into this magical... truly classic movie, right?
The movie opens. It opens with the thing that's you're gonna think you're watching something different.
Yeah, it starts.
If you've never watched the movie before,
it'll throw you off a little bit.
You're gonna think that someone slipped the wrong DVD in.
Yeah, you're like, I thought this was like It's like you're like animation thing.
Well, yeah, stop. Yeah. It's definitely like puppetry.
Puppetry,
right? You can see the strings in some of the scenes. Yeah, on some of these puppets. That being said, obviously, like the penguin is maybe claymation, right?
Yeah,
like,
something.
But yeah, so the movie starts though with a black and white newsreel,
like
fake newsreel,
and a news anchor being like, "Everyone around the world prepares for Santa. Letters are coming in. Blah 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 blah."
And it just goes off, and then we switch. Now, I'm not going to cover the musical this or that. I know I'm the guy who likes to talk about the intro music. Obviously, this is a Rankin Bass Christmas special. When the music kicks in, it's holiday. It gets you there, makes you feel like you're ready for the Christmas. That's like, right. And you bounce and dance so much that they made the narrator for most of their Christmas movies be this postman, voiced by Fred Astaire,
the dancing man himself.
That's right, Mr. Toe Tapper.
Yeah,
they knew what they were doing. They knew because they were like, these songs are gonna make you want to bounce so much, even though you can't tell it's really Fred Astaire and it's not really him dancing. We want you to hear. We want you to hear his voice.
It's tall and skinny. He's close enough.
Oh no,
right?
no. I mean, this puppet looks. He looks just like Fred Astaire. So we cut to Fred. We cut to again. We'll just call him the postman. I did look this up. He does have a name. I don't know his name. Again, he's just the postman. That's all.
Yep, he's just the postman.
Yeah, so
delivering the letters in a dope ass like half track truck sleigh thing.
Comes in slick as can be, right? Jumping out of this thing.
This dope ass truck of his.
And then I mean, again, like we said, it's Fred Astaire, so they make his movements.
Dancing.
Everything he does is like
and
a frolic from space to space. Yeah, it's they definitely want you to know this man is jovial. It's Christmas time. You should be happy.
He does musical theater when he's not being a mailman.
Even the puppet.
Yeah, even the puppet. Right.
Yeah, it's a little over the top maybe, but again, that was the time. That was the feel. These are definitely movies that were originally intended for pretty small children, and they are over the top because that's what you need to entertain and keep the
simple storyline.
Keep the attention of really small children. Cool. Yes, and look at it move.
Look at a puppet
from one side of the screen in 2 seconds.
It moves, and you can't even see the strings. How'd they do that?
We see he interacts with
the squirrels and
all the animals around.
Which they have children's voices talking to him, and then it cuts to the animals. Are the animals?
No. He's
the children.
The children. The children are the point of view.
Yeah, the off camera.
It's
us.
Yeah. We are the children / the point of view. Like we are the one. So it is our voice,
I guess. But we want to know the why of Santa.
Yeah.
That's the big question.
How he became
Santa Claus.
Who he is.
Because it's all the letters he gets. He's just got piles of these. And he's like, well, good news. I know everything about Santa.
Because, of course, this mailman knows everything about Santa. Why wouldn't this mailman know everything about Santa?
He slowly pieced together all the evidence through his trips to the North Pole. He gets a little bit more information from his trash each time.
That is definitely possible.
He really lucked out that one year when he got the scrap of the family history, right?
Speaking of family history, though, that's a great place to kick off what he starts to tell us about, right?
He starts from the very beginning when he was a wee little baby.
And we find out that, again, so for full disclosure here, he starts out as an orphaned baby.
Yeah. And the little kid on camera is like, a baby? He's like, well, yeah, everybody starts as a baby. What'd you expect him to start off fat?
So
he just popped into the world as a jolly fat man? What'd you expect?
But again, the bigger kick here was the orphan part.
Yeah.
I know that he is a baby, and it's a shocker to the kids, and probably most kids, because again, they can't think of anything but fat man with beard. Yeah. I understand. But to me, the shocker is the orphan bit, because that's a hell of a downer to start a kid's movie
right,
on.
Isn't it? His life started horrible.
Right? Like, that was a little much.
And whoever abandoned him left him at the worst place possible. At the Burgermeister Burger's place.
Which is the weirdest name. Why would you have a mirrored name?
I don't know, but it's so much fun to say.
Because, right? Like, because that means someone named him Burgermeister.
And he is the Meister
when their last name was
Meister
Burger. Why would you do that?
Meister Burger. It's so much fun to say. You can't help but do it.
It is the worst house. Why you drop him off here, I don't know. Because again, the Burgermeister didn't want him. No. Obviously not.
He just looks at his lieutenant guy. And
he says this foundling.
Yeah. He's like, what do we do with it? He's like, get rid of it. Take it to the, not orphanage, the orphan asylum, which sounds so much worse than an orphanage. I think that's the intention,
right? Like, this is a Roald Dahl level, like, let's play with words.
It was so bad. I had to write it in my notes even. I was like, that sounds so much worse than an orphanage. An orphan is just children locked in cages, padded rooms.
But so we do see, though, the name of this orphan child.
Yeah, it's
Claus. Now, here's my problem, right? We have no idea if that's first name, last name, because in Germany, where they're implying all of this started,
they could be both.
It could be literally either one. Klaus is a first name, and Klaus, where you hit the accent a little bit different on the S, is definitely a last name, because we know it's a last name because we use it for him as a last name.
Yeah, Santa Claus.
But we're finding out now that it may be his first name. And this movie definitely kind of implies it is his first name. Because later on, he drops the
Kris Kringle
for Klaus.
Yeah, and
not Santa
Claus. The narrator says that. He's like, yeah, now he's Santa Claus.
No,
it's like,
no.
They just said it's going to be Claus.
We'll address that later on, because I have so many issues with when they drop that on us, because it's so random, it's so weird, it makes no sense, and they give us no explanation. We're not getting there yet. Too much. Too soon. Where did we finish there? We were... Klaus. It's Klaus. We know his name is Klaus, and they're about to take him off. Take us away, Bo. Where do they take him off to?
Lieutenant Dude's running him off to the orphan asylum, and the rope on the little sleigh breaks, and the wind picks him up and tosses him over onto the Winter Warlock's mountain.
That's right.
And
scariest place you can end up.
Yeah,
again, as if it wasn't bad enough that we said our words were he ended up in the worst place the first time,
right?
Which was the Burgermeisters. The story then says he ends up in the worst place, which was the Winter Warlock's mountain. So, we have one interpretation and they have another. But as far as you're concerned, just know that he ends up in the worst place twice.
Yep, twice. But luckily the little animals are sneaky and they pile branches on him and stuff. And the Warlock doesn't see him. And they're like, man, we got to get him out of here. Mm-hmm. We know where to take him. They take him off to the happy elf family.
That's right.
That lives across the river.
It is important to note that the animals all love him. Mm-hmm. Even as a baby,
immediately.
So he has always had this magical, or I don't know if magical is the right word, but he's always had some kind of sway.
Yeah, over animals and things.
It becomes much more important later on. Yeah. Obviously, reindeer. Doo-doo. But yeah, so he ends up at these elves' house. They say elves. Yeah. These guys are little.
Yeah, they're
I'll
tiny.
Definitely say they're little.
And they have little voices.
But they're not elvish, other than that, right?
Like no pointy ears.
I would say they're more dwarvish.
Right, with the beards and shit.
They're stocky.
Yeah, short, stocky, and with a beard.
Right?
Yeah, I think
dwarves?
My dwarf brothers
I think
out
Santa
there got
had
some
dwarves,
problems with
not
this
elves.
movie. Yeah, that's what he had. Because elves don't make anything. Only dwarves make stuff.
Again, right? Who wields a hammer?
Fucking dwarf.
Right? That's who wields a hammer.
Elves like to whisper at plants and try and talk them into doing things.
And shoot a bow and arrow. You're not making a toy with a bow and arrow. You can make a toy with a hammer.
Yep. Damn right. They're dwarves, confirmed.
I think we know this now. But yeah, so he gets dropped off with these elves. We'll go ahead. We'll still say elves
it's
for
in
this.
The script.
It's what they called them. We'll go with it, but everybody knows.
Yeah, we all know now. Power to the dwarves.
The elf family are the Kringles.
The Kringles.
Right?
Don't ask me to name them. They're all
no.
They're all some form of ingle.
Yeah. Tingle, dingle, dongle, wongle. I don't know. But they're all Kringles.
Yeah. And they're super stoked.
They're like, what are we going to do with this baby? I know we need to take it to... What's the old lady's name again? Tanta
Santa
Kringle.
With a T instead of an S.
It's weird. But so she's the queen.
Yeah.
Right? Again, I want to point out, we don't see a kingdom. We don't see enough of them for it to make sense for her to be the queen. We see a house with 5
Not
extra...
even like a huge one either.
It's literally like we're seeing her and her 5 kids. The fact that she has them call her queen is maybe a little strange.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because again, they don't treat her like she's...
mom.
Or sister. They treat her like...
Queen Tata.
But I would definitely say she's the mom.
They defer to her.
Right? But I would definitely say she's the mom.
Yeah.
Because the relationship we see is much more motherly than it is like they're the same age. Right? She definitely treats them like somehow they are children to her age.
Yeah. Maybe she's even older than we think. Maybe it's like their grandma.
Then where's mom?
dead. See, this movie's dark as fuck, dude.
I'm telling you.
That's why I like it. So it's got all these dark undertones.
They take Claus.
Claus.
Again, for lack of having any other usable name right now. They take Claus to see Tante.
And she's just like, we will raise this baby. And
I know. We will name him.
We will name him Chris.
Chris
Kringle. It's like, why did he get a normal name? And all the other kids are over here just like, why can't I be fucking Chris? My name's fucking Tinkle.
Well, and again, they had the name card, right? So why couldn't she have been like Chris Claus?
No.
Or Klaus Kringle. Or, something here. No. She
Renee,
gives him two full new names, even though she knows one of them.
Yep, we're just going to ignore that for 20 years. Just push that into the back of your memory.
I can't believe it.
She kept it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's obnoxious.
It's a real bitch thing to do.
But so now we cut to a
little bit of a montage of Chris growing up.
Right.
They teach him how to read, write, make toys. And all
because that's what they do.
Yeah, they're toy makers.
We get a bigger scene of that later from Tante.
Yeah,
explaining
full
who they are. Yeah, to him, letting him know the history of the Kringle people, why they're so hurt,
why we live in the woods.
Yeah, again, this is not. It's coming up very soon.
Yeah, in like 30 seconds. But so the other thing is the animals all taught him how to play, and the seals taught him how to laugh. The ho ho ho. That's where he got that from.
Again, we just want to make sure you guys know. The deer
taught him how to jump and all this other shit.
We'll make sure you guys really get this through your heads. This is not magic he got granted from being with elves. This is not magic from the Winter Warlock.
Nope.
This is his.
Yeah, he
somehow
this.
He somehow just had this from birth.
Animal movements so well that he could run like a deer, jump like a bunny.
Well, come on, of course. When they're friends with you as a baby, well, of course you would.
Fly like an eagle.
But so as he gets older, though, Tante does, as we've already said, she gives him the story about how they end up here.
And why the toys are just piling up.
They end up here because originally in the town where the Burgermeister is, there was a king, not the Burgermeister.
Yeah, and the king liked toys.
And he hired her to be the official toy makers.
Yep.
The first official toy makers ever in the history of history.
Right, to the king.
And they would officially make his toys, and they became master toy makers.
Yeah.
Her and her whole family.
Because when you're the first toy maker to the king, you must accept a certain quality.
That's right.
When you're the first toy maker to the king. It's our first song, guys. And it's awesome. I like this song.
It's good.
Right? It's all fun and stuff. It's all going through all the toys like, all the soldiers must stand erect for the kingdom they protect and blah, blah, blah. I can't remember, but it's awesome.
It's good. Sets up this whole beautiful thing that happened.
Inspires Chris. He's like, when I grow up, I'll take the toys to the town and get them past all those.
But this isn't the full story. There's a bad ending.
Yeah.
Why? What? The Burgermeister.
Yeah, he came in and...
I was right to say, let's not. We can't jump the gun, man. We're gonna miss it as if we didn't know the bad part of this.
Well,
we know
that's
the bad
how the
part.
scene ends.
I know.
Like, I'll take the toys one day when I'm all grown up.
But I want to go ahead and make sure people know this because I just want to go ahead and talk about this because Burgermeister comes in. This is more of the implied, not told.
Yeah.
Right. Burgermeister and his people are definitely supposed to be the Nazis, right? So this is like a little bit of a parable of just about what happened in Europe, right?
A little bit.
That royalty got taken out of the way. And kingdoms got taken over.
And then the Nazis moved in.
Right. Well, this is
banned all the toys.
Again, this isn't what happened in Germany, for sure.
Yeah.
Which is funny, but since they are definitely all supposed to be,
they're definitely
despite
German.
sounding American, other than the Burgermeister and his crew,
they're either American or British.
They are definitely obviously supposed to be in Germany. But my point being, though, like this is what happened in France, right? There was a real government that had connections to things not to do with the Nazis, but then the Nazis just showed up and were like,
"Yeah,
I'm in charge.
This is ours now."
And so the Burgermeister, again, like this is just like it's like the minusculest of history lessons.
Microcosm.
Yeah.
That's a good word for it.
It's just like a tiny history lesson for you. You again, no facts though, but it is letting you know that this is essentially what they did.
This is a very dark movie.
Again, yeah, I mean,
that's why we keep bringing it up. I mean, orphans, poor families being ran out of a kingdom because of a despotic overlord moving in
that may or may not
have murdered the king.
Well, and may or may not be anti-Semites.
Yeah, might.
Because again, they're not overtly Nazis. The Burgermeister
has a German
Meister
accent.
Burgers are not. They are not technically. They don't show us any Nazi symbolism.
No, but they're clearly German.
They are clearly German Imperial.
Yeah, because of the helmets.
The helmet, which again
would be World War I.
But as we talked about, early World War II would certainly have still been using leftover
the
gear.
Chancellor's Guard used to still wear them.
So
although I think Hitler got rid of them, I'm not sure.
Well, again, early though, so
yeah, all the way up until the 30s.
So it's very clear what they're trying to imply with some of these characters that we have here. That's all. Again, I know the scene ended the one way. I just wanted to make sure people knew
understand
this.
That's what happened to the king.
Yeah, this connection. Because again, we see the king.
Yeah,
well, I don't even.
He's in the picture.
No, I'm glad you brought this up. Did they kill the king? Is the king gone? Did you not notice that one of the people in the town looks exactly the same? He has the diamond frame glasses. He has the black curly hair.
Does.
The king is just in hiding in town. He's raising a family and everything.
Right,
his heir is there.
He's one of the houses that gets searched and stuff. He's sitting right there. He is. That's the same picture and everything. No, just right now. Because I know the picture in the book and the guy you're talking about. Yeah, that's the same guy. He's just hiding.
Told you.
Pussy, come out and fight for your kingdom.
But, so you get my point, though. He was deposed. Either way.
There we go.
He was not killed, though.
And they are no longer.
Or at least my theory is he was not killed.
Yeah, he's living.
Unless this is like a man in the Iron Mask situation, and he had a kid. Right. He got a dude that he had a twin brother floating around. He had a
twin brother.
Now we'll move back to what happens after the scene after our song's over and it lifts back up. As Bo pointed out, Santa says, "I'll take him the toys.
Yeah, I'll
do it when I get bigger.
I'll do it. I'll take him over the Warlock's Mountain and shit."
We cut to him yet again a little bit older.
Yeah.
Narrator says, "This is the one, right?
This is where it happens."
The narrator tells us he's growing man. He's becoming a man,
a fine young man.
And then literally, as if there's no pause between when the narrator speaks and when when Mickey Rooney as Santa starts talking. Right. We pass that up. We need to. We mentioned Fred Astaire.
Mickey Rooney does the voice of Kris Kringle.
These are the only
Adult
people.
Kris Kringle.
These are the only names you'll know. We are here now. Yep. This is Mickey Rooney.
And
officially starts taking over right now.
His very first line, right after the narrator says "man,"
is I'm now a man.
I'm a man now.
Yeah, like and it's like well, the narrator just said that.
Could we have gotten a little space between the two?
Well, did we need
somebody
both of
else
them?
Speak?
Did we even need both of them? Couldn't we have just heard the narrator say it, or the narrator just like say everything but the man line and then let him say it?
Instead of "I'm a man now, I'm going to take the toys." It could have just started with "I'm old enough to take the toys now." We could have dropped "man."
But yeah, it was so weird because it's literally like they stacked the
Within 2 seconds
the exact same phrase
right
on top of itself. It was almost jarring hearing it. Obviously so, since we both noticed the fact that it happened. Now, I want to stop right here and say we passed right over a key part that people should know if they haven't. Again, we assume and we want to believe we live in a world where everyone has seen this,
but there's somebody who hasn't.
And if you're listening to us talk, we need to make sure you are aware of the fact that for this story, Santa Claus is a ginger. None of us have ever known that because we've only known the white-haired man.
Yep.
But Santa Claus is a ginger. He's
red,
straight on ginger. This is red. Almost fucking glowing
orange. Molten copper.
I just wanted to make sure people were aware of that.
Go look up that color. That's what it looks like.
And as he becomes an adult, I want to point out, again, you guys know that we do these. We don't talk to each other about this stuff for the most part beforehand. So this is the first time I'm going to hit Bo with this. And this is going to be one of those, it's a deep cut for me and him, but I want everybody that's listening to hear the reaction because this is going to be really funny. I'm not going to say it when you're drinking because it's not that type of thing, man.
Oh, I don't want to do a spit take.
Well, you just might laugh. As soon as we saw the adult one, I was watching and I was just like, man, nobody told me that my nephew was fucking Santa Claus. Because I am not joking. If I could put a picture, if I can get my nephew's permission to do this, to show,
I'm sure he won't care.
To show all of the listeners this, I am not joking when I say that my nephew is a tall, slender, redheaded, wears his hair swoopy to the fucking side, just like this adult version of Kris Kringle.
If you turned him into a doll, this is what he would look like, exactly.
And God. Literally, awesome. As I was watching the movie...
We have to get him a doll of it now. Like, that's his Christmas present. We have to get him this Kris Kringle doll.
I had to say it, and I wanted people to hear the reaction, because it's very true. It is very true. They look so much like. He's a very... At this point, we see Kris Kringle is just a tall, slender
redheaded
man.
For a slightly freckled man.
This is when he gets his suit?
Yeah, it's because he's like,
he's ready to
go take the toys. I'm old enough.
He's ready to take on the challenge of dealing with the Burgermeister
and getting across.
Well, he doesn't even know about the Burger.
He doesn't know about He has to get across the mountain with the Winter Warlock.
He's ready to take on the Winter Warlock.
But after he gets his suit and he's all happy and he starts walking off, we go and the Burgermeister falls on his ass and breaks his foot. Because he tripped over a ducky or something, and that pissed him off so much. He's just like,
hates toys.
No more Outlaw toys. No more toys. He gets
to let us know. Even. So he was he's been a bad guy for 20 years in this town, but the toys have not been outlawed until literally somehow right before like Santa 6 hours was bringing.
Before he gets there.
Excuse me, Chris was bringing. He's not Santa yet.
Not yet.
Fuck. Soon. According to this movie.
Yeah, real fucking soon.
No. The Santa doesn't come until way later. We'll get there.
I was just being this movie short.
Yeah, that's fine. But even then, the movie doesn't even really get there. That's what I'm getting
that's true.
But so Chris finally, he's at the Winter Warlock, right?
Yeah, he goes, oh no, we're still at he falls on the Burgermeister.
Oh yeah, Burgermeister.
Outlawed all the toys. He has his song, which is like to the same tune, only as the toy maker to the king. Only he's like, no more toys makers to the king. And... Kill all the toys, melt them down.
Which is funny because he's not king,
right? No,
the word king is never used for him.
No, he's the lawmaker or something. Is what he says in the.
I think we all know what word Nazis would. He's the chancellor.
Yeah,
right. That's what they would have called him.
He's my Führer.
After that, though, like I was saying. The unfortunate luck of poor Chris to be showing up right at the time
that he outlaws
toys. Like, it's just horrible timing and luck. But yeah, now we get back to Chris on his journey.
Yeah, he's going across the mountain and something comes flying at him and lands in the snow, and it's a penguin.
A penguin?
It's a little penguin, and he's like, hey, little penguin buddy, what are you looking for? And the penguin's all hopping and...
Topper?
He's doing charade.
What's his name?
Topper? Yeah, that's what he ends up calling him. But he's doing charades, trying to tell Chris what he's wanting. He's like, what do you want?
Wearing a nice green and yellow scarf.
Yeah, a little scarf and shit.
I love the scarf. It's such a weird touch. I'm like, and you don't even question it. You're just like, yeah, he'd need that.
Yeah, it's cold.
Even though
cute penguins are used to
cold. But yeah,
you want to put the scarf on the penguin, though. It makes it look cute. I just love the charades it's playing and stuff. Santa's kind of stupid. He's like, what are you looking for? A branch? A stick? A pole? The North Pole? The South Pole. You're a little far away from the South Pole. You can stay with me, little buddy. And then the Winter Warlock shows up.
Crazy looking Winter Warlock. Monstrous.
Right?
A little bit like the face of the Abominable Snowman.
Abominable?
Yeah. He definitely has like the teeth.
Does the Warlock bounce, you think?
I don't know.
Bombles bounce. Do Warlocks bounce? We'll have to look into that one. Kris Kringle runs off with Topper, and Warlock just kind of, all right, I'll get you on the way back. Yeah. You got to come back through here.
Well, because he's not venturing too far away from home.
No.
Would you?
No, I would. If he walked, it's like a day trip. He would have froze to death otherwise. I don't care how used to the cold you are.
I don't know about the Winter Warlock.
No, Chris.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I was like, Winter Warlock's fine. Yeah, that's what I was like.
He's fine.
You're
talking about
wrong.
Chris.
Yeah.
If it's like a 5-day journey through the frozen mountains and he's just wearing that thing, he's going to
that suit's good, dude.
Is the suit magic?
No, it's not magical.
They're elves.
Maybe. But again, it's just because it's good, dude. It's a thick red suit. Have you sat on a mall Santa's lap?
It is down all the way through, double-stitched quilt.
All I'm trying to say to you is I've not ever sat on a mall Santa's lap and they weren't sweaty as all get out. So I'm going to assume that it's a hot suit.
Fair. That is completely fair. Those have to be some hot suits.
He does, though. He books it. You know, he who runs away lives to fight another day. Right? Santa knows what's up. Or Chris knows what's up.
Get it eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, so he books it through. He makes it to... Do we even know the town's name?
Oh, fuck. I wrote it down. Somber Town?
Because they only mention it like once or twice out loud.
Yeah, it's like,
you know, like they don't...
Somber Town.
Okay.
And everything is grayscale.
But so he shows up. He runs into some kids.
They're washing their stockings.
Yeah, they're definitely not playing.
Yeah, they're all sad.
Because kids can't do that.
And he's like, what y'all doing? They're like, we're doing our chores.
You guys want some...
You guys want
some toys? Because, guys, I got the hookup.
Says the creepy ginger man who just wandered into town in his outlandish red suit.
He hits these kids up with toys, almost like a drug dealer with drugs to somebody, right? He's just like, I got some toys
for you all.
Y'all want some? Y'all kids look like
but you all need to smile.
You look like you could use some.
You some sad-looking motherfuckers. You want something to make you smile? Better not cry. Better not pout.
Well, this to that part?
Yeah, it's that part. Where he's like, I don't like sour faces.
Yeah, that's right. Again, they just start to, like I said, this is what they're great at. Rankin and Bass they do this. They take different Santa songs throughout the rest of from this point on. Because this was the first one that they really kind of like hammer home.
Really did it.
The Santa lyrics and where they came from. But from this point on, literally no Santa song is off the table.
Nope.
No matter how much more modern the song might seem than the area we're looking at, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
At this point forward, anytime they can work in the lyrics of a Santa song into normal conversation,
they will.
It will be there.
It will absolutely be there.
100%. Because Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yes.
He's Kris Kringle, so obviously I'm just saying those are the kinds of things that are happening. That's not what they say yet.
True.
But that is the kind of shit that's going down.
Yeah, it's the kind of shit they do. But they do the whole thing here. He's like, I don't like somber faces.
Yeah.
So you better not pout. You better not cry. And the kids go, why? He's like, I'm telling you why.
Yeah.
Because I brought toys.
And they're like,
huzzah. But we're not allowed to have toys.
They're excited.
Yeah.
And then they're defeated at the same moment. Because they're like, we can't do nothing with those toys.
Man. And why? Says Chris. And because the Burgermeister says so. And he's best line. He's just like, why? I mean, he can have a toy if he wants one. I'll save him this big red yo-yo.
Yeah. Is this when he tells them like, he needs to know what they all want, right?
Yeah. Then we get
now we get the weird creepy song
where they come sit on my lap.
He literally tells the kids they need to. I'm gonna paraphrase, and then I know Bo has it written down, so Bo can then tell us exactly what it is. But I want to paraphrase first because I want you to understand how creepy this is. He essentially tells these kids, "Please sit on my lap, kiss me, to get a toy."
Pretty much.
All right, tell me exactly what it is.
The song is called "If You Sit on My Lap Today," and it's all fun and kitschy.
No, but tell me the lyric. For the one I just talked about.
If you sit on my lap today, a kiss, a toy is the price you'll pay.
See what I'm saying?
Kiss, a toy is the price you shall pay. I.e., give me a kiss, I'll give you a toy.
Well, don't forget, that line already comes after he tells you to sit on his lap. The first line is... Come sit on my lap. Then he gives you the directions of
give me
a kiss, a toy.
I give you a toy. Dark fucking movie.
This man is a little creepy.
And once you know it's Mickey Rooney, it makes it worse because you can't help but picture Mickey Rooney wanting little kids to sit on his lap.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We go from here. What happens?
Jessica shows up.
He meets Jessica, who's the school teacher.
For 5 seconds is like a bitch about it.
And she's a school teacher.
Yeah, the school teacher, I think, or librarian.
We never really see her do her job.
No,
we see her right now. She shows up. She does. She's like, "What are you doing?
You can't give these kids toys. They're illegal.
You trying to make fun of me? You're making fun of me right now?
That was weird."
And he's like, "I'm not making fun of you."
What are you
and he falls
about?
in love with her, like basically as soon as he sees her. And it's so messed up because the love eyes they give him made it look like he was tripping balls.
Right, they got super huge.
Well, because and I was like, "Whoa, man, what are they trying to tell me is going on right now?"
But he gets over by giving her a little China doll because he has the magic ability to know
what they want,
what toy you want,
and so he
shows up a few times.
Again, not outrightly said though. We just see that
he just says that he does it because he's like, "Here's this toy for you," and they're like, "I always wanted one." Yeah. Every time.
But yeah, so she's like, a China doll? I always wanted one, but obviously my parents never gave me one. But why obviously? Because the Burgermeister just outlawed toys.
She who grew up poor, maybe?
But that wouldn't be obvious. She said obviously, implying it was the Burgermeister.
Her hair's all nice. She's got the little glasses.
The obviously would be that she was trying to say because of the Burgermeister, but that just happened.
Like a couple hours ago. The soldiers literally just walked through, picked up all the toys, and now Chris showed up, and he's like, all right, well, here's more.
So there's no way.
The kids went without toys for 30 minutes.
I don't know. But she definitely was like, obviously this is why.
Yeah.
But she is taken over by the doll.
Yeah. She's on his side now.
Yeah, at that point she's on his side. No romance yet.
No. But she helps him distribute toys.
She's like, okay, I think you're right. Where do we go from this spot?
All the kids are outside playing with their toys, and Burgermeister's kind of going through with his patrol, all like, it's a lovely day, blah, 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 all the kids with their toys, and then he just dawns on, he's like, toys, arrest these little heathens. He tries to arrest the kids for it. But Chris, he steps in, and he's like, no, hang on. I gave the kids the toys. This is on me.
And I've got one for you.
Yeah, because he's going to arrest him. And he's like, well, hands him the yo-yo. I love this bitch. Like a yo-yo.
I love a yo-yo.
I love yo-yo.
When I was a kid, I had a yo-yo. Just like this.
His little Lieutenant Basil Rathbone little guy
says,
goes, Sir, aren't you breaking your own law?
And then he goes, what?
How dare you make a fool of me? Guards, arrest him.
So he has to flee.
Yeah, he books it and escapes back into the woods.
As we pointed out, earlier, Chris Kringle was a man who knows
how to jump like a deer and all this other stuff. So he just boop.
And he's a man that knows the lesson of he who runs away
lives to fight another day.
Twice within 24 hours, he said, "Bitch, I'm out.
Deuces.
I'm not doing this." So he books it out, leaves town,
gets immediately captured by the Winter Warlock's magic tree people.
Now, in all fairness, he had it coming.
He did. He said,
as you said, Winter Warlock gave him the look when he was leaving, like I'll catch you on the way back. Here he is on his way back.
And he's here. He's like, This bothered me because he's literally only had like 2 interactions with the Warlock, but he's like, you've annoyed me for the last time. Like he's been doing it for years.
Maybe
him and his deer buddies were over there fucking around.
Maybe Winter Warlock knows that it was him as the baby.
Yeah.
That blew through on the way to the Kringles.
There's a deleted scene. They're ding dong ditching him and the bunny rabbits, and then they bounce away.
But so then Chris is like, wait.
I want to give you a toy before you
because I have one left. When they confiscated I gave away all my toys, and I had a couple, and they confiscated those, but somehow I managed to save one. Where was it hiding?
He kind of pulled it out of an odd place, I will agree.
Okay. It's like one of the Highlander and where their sword is moments, right? Like, where did he just pull this from?
But Warlock's like, okay, cool, and then lets him go, and he pulls a train out of his pants, his dick, I don't know, it materializes from the front of him somehow. But again, like earlier, it's the... I always wanted one. And
it melts his heart and then literally melts the crazy abominable snowman face off of him.
Yeah, and he looks more human and he's all pink and
I mean, he's totally a person again.
Yeah.
The sharp teeth are gone and he's got
his voice isn't as deep and gravelly.
He's a normal guy. He kind of looks like a Gandalf or a Dumbledore. Yeah. He has now defeated... Well, I don't know if defeated's the right word. Triumphed.
That's a good one. Triumphed over the Winter Warlock.
And I think, to me, this is one of those missed opportunities where we should have changed the character name.
Yeah, well, he keeps insisting on just being called Winter. He doesn't want to be known as Warlock, but that's not really...
But shouldn't we just call him Winter something else instead of just saying Winter? Like I said, Winter Wizard.
Winter Wizard.
As we said, he's like Dumbledore / Gandalf.
Yeah, he's not evil.
He's not evil anymore. He theoretically has magic, but we'll get there.
We'll get to that.
So wizard would work.
Yeah,
because again, Warlock implies evil.
Yeah,
it's like witch. Like witch doesn't have to be evil, but the implication in your head historically starts at evil.
It started as a bad negative thing to call somebody who does.
And Warlock
magic.
Is just the male version
of that.
So
there's a negative connotation. I know we've kind of tried to take it back in recent years.
I feel like we should have started calling him the Winter Wizard.
The Winter Wizard, yeah, I like it.
But we don't.
No.
We will.
They don't. Forever.
There you go. But yeah, so he has now triumphed and he is succeeded. There's no longer a problem. Everybody can travel the mountain. Yeah. No issues now.
We get a nice song. Because Wizard's like, oh, I've been bad for so long. I don't know how to be good. Yeah. And Chris is just like, well, it's like taking your first step. And
he starts to teach him.
I love this fucking song. Even though Mickey Rooney's not the greatest singer, it's catchy. And the one foot in front of the other. And soon you'll be walking out the door.
I would be willing to say it's probably one of the most memorable Rankin and Bass songs.
Oh, definitely.
Period.
This song pops in my head when I think of this movie. It's the
one of them that's theirs. Like, you're not saying when they do one of the mainstay Christmas songs in their movie, but one of them that they wrote.
Yeah, this isn't a Christmas song.
Yeah, this is theirs. This is just theirs.
This is just inspirational.
This is just a song that they put into the movie.
Get up.
Again, most of the songs in this movie, like we said, the main Christmas songs are not sang.
No, they just
referenced. They are referenced in dialogue. The songs in the movie are their own.
Yeah.
Like you just said, you don't sing this at Christmas. You don't sing one foot in front of.
No, I would do it anytime
You do it every time that's not Christmas. But my point is, it's not a Christmas song. You're not sitting around the tree.
We should though. We should all get around the tree.
Well, obviously, this was a holiday special. That was Rankin and Bass's idea, right? Like, I mean, that was their intention for sure.
You know, you were sitting in front of the TV with your siblings singing it.
Fake marching in place.
After the song, and everybody's all happy, and the baby deer stood up and walked, and it's great. Cute little thing. Yeah. Winter's like, woohoo, I'm on your side, and he offers to help him with his magic that he still has right now.
Right now.
And he makes the magic crystal snowball.
Yeah. That lets him see
other shit.
Anything
he wants, but Jessica's looking for him.
It's kind of nondescript now. He's just like, look at this thing. And then he looks at it and he's like, oh, look
into my magic crystal snowball.
Yeah.
That's all he says.
And then he sees Jessica.
He's like, she's looking for you. Go to her, my lad. And then he does. He just drops out of the freaking sky. Yeah. Because it cuts to her and then zoom, there he is. Scares the shit out of her. And he's like,
some of the magic, dude.
Sorry, man. I guess he teleported.
It was the Winter Wizard's magic.
That was the last of it. He used too much. He teleported
too
him
much
over
power
there.
in a move like that. Too much power in a move like that. There you go. Yeah, so he ends up in front of Jessica.
And she's like, the Burgermeister took all the toys again, but here's a bunch of letters from the kids.
Things they want. So now you don't have to have them sit on your lap, you creepy fuck. I mean, that's not how she said it. That's fair.
That was a creepy ass scene. I don't care how any way you look at it. That's exactly why she did this. She's like, I'm going to just start delivering letters.
Like, I like this Chris guy. I like him, but I think I might need to keep him away from the kids.
Why need to keep him away from the kids? Probably smart. So she starts delivering letters, and he's like, cool.
You let me know what they want.
I'll bring them.
I'll figure out a way to start sneaking the toys to them.
Yeah, is this right? I'll go at night because
this is when he says he's going to sneak in. Right now, it's just sneak in. He's going to leave under their pillows, right?
Yeah, he's going to put it in their rooms and shit.
So you bring me the letters, and then you make sure all the kids know
to leave their doors unlocked.
Again, creepy Santa. This is the man that said, hey kids, sit on my lap. Give me a kiss,
and I'll give you
every
a toy.
kiss you give me, you get a toy. And now he's demanding those same kids leave their doors unlocked
at night
so he can get into their bedrooms
to give them a toy. I didn't need to say it like that. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, I think you did. I think you did, because I think people really need to understand
how dark this movie is.
There's some creepy. There's some.
If you go looking,
it's questionable. It's questionable. If you go throw back to earlier us, it's questionable. That's a questionable moment. So at that point, though, it seems like everything's good, but then the Burgermeister finds out.
Yep, and he's like, all right, fine, we're going to lock the doors and windows at night. And then Chris is like, well, what do we do? Again, Topper, Mr. Penguin coming through with his charades.
Well, it's a double that they're going to be locking the doors, and then he's just going to, inspections are going to be starting soon, right?
He's going to go search every house in the morning after.
Go ahead, Topper.
Yeah, Topper with his... doing his charades again, which just counts to him honking and
since
pointing.
You love the Topper charades.
I just love how he.
I love Topper, and again, it's a character.
He's just bouncing and honking, and Chris is just like, "Where do we go? Up the sky, the stars, the moon, the roof, the chimney. Go down the chimney. You're a genius, Topper." Yeah, I'm like, what took you too long?
And again, I do love that we have Topper.
Yes,
and he is a character that should become more part of Christmas. Like they wanted him to become part of Santa lore, and he did not.
No, he should have.
Yeah, so at this point, we now know he's going to go down the chimney. Did I jump ahead? So it's chimney first. Then he finds toys after he had been making people lock the doors.
Yeah. And then
that's when he says, "Oh, now I'll do inspections."
Yeah, that's
right?
what happened.
And so we get the separate events. So, but again, all this just happens so quick, guys. It's really easy to forget.
Movie.
So the events happen in this way, just so we can clarify. It's literally first time he finds out there are toys. Then it says, okay, well, you guys leave your doors unlocked. I'll sneak in at night.
Yep.
Then he says, lock the doors, guys. He goes in through the chimney. He finds out they're still doing it. He says, I'm going to have to start doing inspections every morning.
Yes.
Inspection time is when he says, Santa's like, oh, man, I'm just at a loss. I don't know what we can do. I mean, the kids are always, it's not fair to them because all they ever get to do is wash their stockings. Wait.
Stockings.
That's it.
That's it.
And so this is why we hang stockings.
Yeah, to hide the presents from the Burgermeister.
Again, the whole movie, it's not just to set up how Santa got here. It sets up
all this
lore. Fake belief of how we have these traditions.
Yeah, why we do this shit.
Kids would go in after washing their stockings out in the public fountain, which was really disgusting.
That is your drinking water. That's
I
what
know,
they did.
But it was...
people wonder why there were cholera outbreaks.
But so then you would take it back, and these kids would then hang their stockings to dry in the fireplace. Obviously, now they're just hanging already dry ones.
So Chris can put toys in them.
And still goes down a chimney, he puts them in, and this works.
Yeah, because
for a limited time.
Burgermeister, he goes and searches the house of what we assume to be the exiled king, because he looks just like him. Doesn't find any toys. They all leave. And the kids immediately to go to the stockings.
Run to the stockings.
And just dump them out.
And now at this point, it becomes clear to us that Jessica and Chris have not been telling parents about this.
No, because
only
parents
the kids
are still like, thank God there's no toys in here.
And the kids dump it out, and you can audibly hear the dad, who we know is the deposed king, trying to hide so he doesn't want those guards back in his house. Shocked.
He was a very, very tight butthole that day.
Yeah, he was shocked when those toys hit the ground.
Right.
He probably immediately was like, shut it up.
No,
shut it up.
Shut the fuck down. No, these are getting, I do know who I am.
These are Nazis. You know what they're going to do to me if they come back? It was good, though, for a little bit of time.
Yeah, he puts them all in the stocking.
Stocking
Burgermeister, he's going to set a trap. He's done. And Jessica overhears it, right?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I have to go warn Chris. But I guess it took her 5 hours to get across the mountain or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, because he's already gone by the time she gets there. And the dumb bitch led all the guards over to where the Kringles and shit, and she gets them all.
So they can't stay.
No, they all get arrested.
Yep.
Took to the dungeon. And then trap is set, right? Chris comes down the chimney.
Yep.
Right straight into the Burgermeister's face. And he's just like, you are under arrest. And he's like, no. He starts to run. And he's like, wait.
Because again,
I got your penguin.
Because that's what Chris does.
Yeah, he runs away, dude. He knows. He's like, nope,
ready to do it again.
Dip.
Yeah.
Deuces.
But this time he couldn't.
Nope, because they got Topper.
And again, he mentions Topper. He doesn't say, I've got your family. He doesn't say, I've got your woman. He doesn't say, he says,
I got your warlock buddy.
He's like, I got your penguin.
I got your penguin.
Your penguin is my buddy.
You leave that penguin alone. I surrender. But that's what happens.
Yeah.
He's like, you got me, I guess. And they all go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then, for some reason, Jessica didn't go to jail.
Despite she had major involvement in
she
every
was
part of this.
She was like the messenger of this entire thing. Like, she's involved. She should have went to the dungeon too, but she doesn't. She gets to sing a song. This song bothers the piss out of me.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit in this fucking movie. This is like a 60s pop radio song.
So, this is the Cheer Up Charlie?
Yeah, of this movie. Yeah, like our Willy Wonka episode. Yeah. Go back and watch it.
This
it's like
is Cheer Up Charlie
moment. Doesn't need to be the song that does not need to fucking be here.
Doesn't fit the flow?
No, doesn't fit the style of music either.
Now, that being said... This is the trippiest fucking, like, both the way both the sound, like the song itself is a little bit trippy, and then the visuals,
all these
trippy like
animations and swirls,
red swirly pink dots and flying at her face,
like a lava lamp. But
it was literally it's literally like any psychedelic music video you've ever seen from the 60s is happening in the middle of this Christmas movie.
Woman singing the shitty song in the background, but it
very
amounts
strange.
to
we're done.
She loves Chris and wants to help him get out. That's the song.
And again, we already know he loves her, so
yeah, because that was immediate.
Yeah,
but she goes and talks to the Winter Wizard through the.
That's right, Winter Wizard.
Winter Wizard. He's not a warlock anymore. Winter Wizard through the bars, and he's lost his magic somehow? When did that happen? They don't explain why his magic just stopped working. Because it worked with the magic ball. And then the next time we see him, he's like, oh, I don't have any powers.
He mentions this a couple times.
Yeah, but this time he's just like, no, it's really gone. All I've got's like a broken wand.
He goes through the list of things he's got with him. I will point out, I understand that he's probably in a separate cell than everybody else. How outrageous is it, though, that
he wasn't searched on the way in?
To have these, he could have been fucking flinging these under the door frame to Chris or to anybody. It's crazy. So he does. He dumps out. He's like, right? I've got a spent wand. Like, right? He's like, it's a wand that's been expended. He's got no magic left. That's useless.
A potion that dried up is useless. A bunch of burnt candles and a handful of enchanted feed corn. And
she's like, that's it. And I was like,
she popped for it, right? She's like, enchanted feed corn.
And it's like, bitch, you don't even know what it does yet.
Right. And
like, enchanted could be 1,000 things.
Yeah, even he's like, we can't
use it. Well, no, he knows. He doesn't know why it could be important.
Yeah.
But again, she doesn't either.
Right.
She acts like
she doesn't know what it does yet.
Like she knew enchanted meant it would make things fly.
No.
And again, how does that immediately make things helpful?
I don't know how that worked either.
Right.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. So he's like, it makes animals fly.
But it's like, what use is that of us? That we won't melt bars or anything.
Who can even get an animal to come to them?
Right. She knows. She goes to Chris's reindeer buddies, and this is where
again, why not any of the other animal buddies? Because the movie has been full of plenty of them.
Yeah, bunnies.
Specifically the reindeers, though.
Seals.
She feeds the reindeers.
And this is where we get our flying reindeer.
We get our narrator making a cute nod moment where he's like, you know the ones.
Yeah.
And they say all 8 reindeer, and he goes...
Fill them in the comments.
He goes, yeah, we didn't know it last week. We don't know it this week. But he's like, and... Don't forget one more. And then before we can really start to say who it is, he stops us.
Yeah, he's like, wait, but that's a different story. But the nose still goes, meep, meep.
As I pointed out earlier, too, this is the moment where it lets you know that this is not a connected universe.
Nope, they're not the same.
Because this Rudolph is not the Rudolph we all know.
No, he has a black nose that just happened to light up, not a red
Rudolph
nose.
Is very different.
Yeah.
He's full grown, slender looking compared to the other ring.
Look like you need to eat.
Yeah.
He needed the corn.
So we see that we now have flying reindeer. Again, I point out, how does that immediately solve the problem of everybody being under arrest?
Right.
And in the dungeon.
They landed in the courtyard. Hooray. They're not big. They're not a moose. It's not like it could bash the door in. If we had flying moose, that's a different thing.
But Jessica thinks this is the best plan.
I mean, it worked apparently because they all just hop on and fly the fuck off.
From where, though? Who let them out of the cage?
I don't know.
Or the cell or
I don't know.
Whatever they were in. You know, I agree. Bad writing. Again, they needed this story to move along.
They were running out of time.
Right? So
move along. This story definitely moves along.
All right. So now they're gone. Yep. They're out.
They run the fuck away, and then there's like a
gap. Well, it's us. We don't even know yet, right? Because when it first comes back, all we know is we see the flash to the fact that Burgermeister started putting up the wanted signs, right?
Yeah.
And then we see that one ends up in the woods. The animals go to tell Chris that there's now this wanted sign.
You're wanted.
He goes to look at the sign. All of this time, we've not seen his face yet.
No,
right?
His face is away from the camera.
Because that way it's a surprise to us when he looks at the sign and then says,
well, this isn't going to do him any good.
Right? And then he turns around and we see red beard.
Big red beard.
What's funny is if you're not paying attention to that moment, Jessica then walks up. And the way she reacts to it is as if she's seen the red beard for the first time. And it's not that. It's that she's seeing the sign and she's agreeing with him. But the way she looks in the scene is literally like she's looking at him and then she's like,
where did that fucking beard come from?
It's so funny because you're just like, they probably could have done this better.
Right. There's a little bit of weird blocking in this scene.
Yeah.
Like she looks surprised that he has a beard.
Right. And it's like
you did not have that 10 minutes ago.
Like he has a lot of magic.
Yeah.
But making the beard...
he's strained real hard.
Again, like I said, the way the scene looks, it looks like he looked at the sign and was like, oh, magic beard. So that way they won't know it's me. And then she sees the beard and she's like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Because she's so shocked. And then he immediately follows it up with, again, as if she had never seen it. yeah, I figured if I'm a Kringle, it's about time I grew. Now. So again, it's like it's the first time she saw it.
Immediately, yep.
I don't understand. So again, is it a time jump? Is it a magic beard? I don't know. You tell us what you think happened.
Comments.
Let us know.
Time jump or magic beard? I'm team time jump. He says magic beard.
Yeah, I definitely say magic beard because her reaction just feeds me to believe
that it was an immediate thing.
And then what he said to her. He is then like as if she's not seen it. He says the Kringles grow beards.
It's my turn.
But so yes, he now has a beard.
Yep.
And he's like, I'm safe. It doesn't matter. Again, I'll point out he doesn't go back.
No. They just keep going north. They go, I think Chris and her get married.
Yes.
And then they just go to the North Pole and they're like, hey, we're going to build our factory here.
Yeah. As of right now, we can just assume
Burgermeister won.
Are toys being delivered?
Well, yeah, he keeps getting letters and because he said there's the scene where he's like,
I know, but that's my point.
He's kind of gray. It's like a reddish gray beard and he's kind of fat. Because time goes really fast from this point
Chris
on.
Christopherson.
Chris Christopherson
Santa.
Yeah.
But no, my point is just like, again, everything is still happening.
Yeah.
How is he delivering stuff now? Yeah. Are the toys not just immediately getting confiscated? Because at this point, Burgermeister knows all the tricks.
Yeah, and even though you have air superiority with your stupid reindeer...
Well, we see he's already the kind
gone.
of... Well, that doesn't even matter. We see that he is the kind of guy who goes inside houses to do checks anyway.
Yeah.
If you deliver them...
They're just going to get fucking taken.
So maybe for all we know, this is just like Tanta told us earlier. This is take 2 of they're just building toys and ditching them in the front yard.
Yeah,
when she says it earlier, she's like, we had nothing, we didn't know what to do with them, so we just
kept throwing them out there. Just piles of fucking toys and
maybe
shit.
Maybe that's where we're at again. And
then the Burgermeister just kind of gets old and dies.
Exactly. Because that's what I say. The story just tells us. The story just tells us that he does get old and he dies.
And the people are like, well, these laws are dumb.
And then the people are like, oh, that was so stupid. The story does not even tell us for sure if the presents were still being delivered in this off time.
Yeah.
They might have been delivered everywhere else. But we don't know if they were still being delivered to Slumberville.
I like to think it was a vicious
cycle. Or whatever.
Vicious cycle of him just constantly delivering and then constantly getting took and burnt.
We skipped one small part.
Oh, we did?
It's not important until we start to talk about the Santa, the Santa of it all again in a second. Yeah. We skipped a part that when he finally left town.
Oh, when he saw the wanted poster.
Not only was he like, the red beard is going to help me.
Yeah.
Tanta was worried.
Yeah, she's like, Tanta said, call yourself Chris Kringle.
You can't go by Chris Kringle. You got to start going by Claus. So again, at this point in time, he is Cher. He is Madonna. He's going by one name. He is Claus. He is not Santa Claus. He's not Chris Claus. He's not Klaus Kringle. He's not. You get my point. At this point in time,
no, because he never once says Santa.
Well, and the narrator even says Klaus. So at this point, he is still just Klaus. He's not Santa Claus. He's not Chris Kringle because
no, you're not allowed to call yourself Chris Kringle right now. Yeah, because you're a wanted man.
And so it wasn't important, but we are literally at the end of the story now. So the story wraps up. Like we said, we hear
Burgermeister's dead.
Burgermeister and his whole family.
Yeah,
the setup when they word it, the narrator doesn't say the Burgermeister. He says the Meister Burgers, meaning the whole family
just kind of died off and lost.
When they're finally gone, the town gets back to normal, realizes those are stupid. They all still love Santa. They take down the Burgermeister's picture and put the beautiful sleigh Santa, riding through the sky picture up on the wall. And so you're like, okay. And then we hear the narrator say that Chris just continued to do good deeds, right? The older he got, the more good he did, the more famous he got, the more people loved him, right? Yeah. That's what we heard.
That's what it was.
Those are the words. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, paraphrase, but that's the idea. And in this moment, we start to hear the little girl from the beginning, the possibly could be our voice, come back, and she asks the narrator, again, no prompt for what this fucking means. That's why he's called Santa Claus.
That's right, Timmy. Or Susie.
Yeah. But what the fuck, dude? She doesn't say where Santa came from.
No.
She hears him say he continued to do good.
Yep.
and people loved him. And then she says, that's why they call him Santa Claus.
It's like, no.
Yes. What does that word mean, and where did it come from? This girl just said it as if that explains it, right? Like, does she speak Finnish? Whatsoever. And we don't know it, and that means something. You get what I'm saying? Like, where does that come from? That was so random.
They had fucking 5 seconds left on airtime. They're like, nope, we got to wrap this shit up. That's why they call him Santa. Cut.
Right? Nobody needs to know what that word actually came from, where it came from.
It's all this whole story's bullshit. We're just shitting it out for 1960s television to keep the kiddies entertained.
Oh, it was outrageous.
I love this fucking movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Again, guys, we rag on it, but we love it. It's great. We're not technically finished yet. We do go. We see our narrator one more time. We see our postman dance around and be jovial with all the animals, and now we get it. The animals are Santa's friends. He's been dancing around with Santa's friends this whole time. They're the ones who've told him the story. It all comes full circle.
And this is the song, right? The Santa Claus is coming to town.
Now, and again, the namesake
of the entire fucking movie.
They drop the lines everywhere, but they drop the lines for lots of Santa songs. It's not just that one.
Not just that one. Oh, there's a Silent Night in there.
Yeah, no, dude, there's a whole bunch.
There's a lot on a silent night, just in the dialogue, and I'm like, I know why you said that.
Because, well, especially now that you know that they did the religious ones too.
Yeah, Little Drummer Boy.
Makes so much more sense, right? It all connects. Now we are done. Credits are rolling. I will point out this is not a go to black credits are rolling. This is very festive credits are rolling. But credits are rolling. We are done with the movie.
We kind of stick with the mailman. He's driving and singing, and there's credits popping
There's white
up
and red and green. The Christmas
cool
colors are on the screen.
Animation starts and stuff. Yeah, it's great. It's fun to you just sit and watch the credits. They're fun.
That's the movie, guys. We're done. Now, what'd you think about the beer?
I was surprised. I was expecting it to be fruitcake.
I was coming in expecting the worst.
Right, me too.
And it's not that bad. Again, the tasting notes in this one are honey, cinnamon, and ginger. A lot of Christmas ales go for maybe a
nutmeg or ginger,
like a fruit cakey kind of spiced flavor, right? And so again, those are three things that could be in fruitcake. Those flavors we were made. I don't want to say that I was afraid, but I was afraid.
I was afraid too.
I didn't know what I was coming into.
After the Pumpkinhead
Everything's got me worried. Everything gets me worried.
That's the only one I have not finished.
So this was actually pretty good.
Yes.
Again, maybe not something...
I was worried because I had that... I was like, I smell cinnamon.
But the cinnamon is so faint, taste-wise.
It is so faint. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. And again, as far as the honey and... I don't taste any of that, really. It's maybe a little sweet. This is delicious, guys. Again, it's maybe not something I'm going to get all the time.
No, but seasonally for like Christmas parties.
For Christmas, if someone gives me one, I'm not going to tell them I don't want it.
Great Lakes Christmas ale, good
Definitely
stuff.
Try it. So that's 2 for 2 on them.
Yes.
All right. So what are we going to drink next week? Obviously, we know it's a Christmas ale.
Christmas ale, yeah. But next week we're going to go to some local boys. People are from Kentucky, from Lexington. This is West 6th Brewing Company's Christmas Ale. It's a very pretty can.
All right. That's it. Yeah. There's no real clue.
There's no clue. Just join us next week.
I'm not going to tell you that you can probably figure out next week's. Like we said, sometimes there might be a hint. I'll let you know if there's a hint.
There's really not for this.
This one's not a hint.
No.
This is 100%. This is just a Christmas ale.
Yep. And Christmas movie, right?
Yep. And I told you guys I'd get back to you. Now that I know which beer it is, since Bo let me know, it is definitely Bo's movie next week. So we definitely did 2 Bo movies, and we'll close out the month with my movies.
There we go.
Jingle All the Way was everybody's. Because we all love that one.
Yes. You have to.
We've got a little bit of a surprise for everybody. We decided since we were doing a kids movie, we would let you guys hear a kid's take on this. And so we brought in one of our biggest fans, my son, and we're going to let him tell you guys what he thought about Santa Claus is Coming to Town. What did you think of the movie?
It's good.
Yeah? You liked it? Did you learn anything about Santa?
Yeah.
What'd you learn?
The kid slided the snow to make a castle for Santa Claus. Yep, the kid gets older to be Santa.
That's right. I think we're done, though, man. I think that's it.
All right. Santa Claus is coming to town. How dare you make a fool of me?